Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome. My name is Rob Sukaran. I'm the Associate Vicar here at Hull Minster, and it's my privilege on behalf of Hull Minster to welcome you here today. So as I said, it's a privilege to welcome you and Dove House for this Light Up a Life event here at Hull Minster. Hull Minster is a place that gathers people. It gathers people from all places, from all faiths and none. So I'd like to say thank you, Dove House, for all that you do and for holding this event here. It's wonderful that Light Up a Life is here. It's been my experience as a vicar and as a pastor, and just as a human being, to be honest, with my own experiences of loss, that this time of year can be one of the most difficult times of year, because it's at this time of year, as the festivities and the celebrations begin, that we feel most acutely those who are no longer with us. So taking time to reflect and to remember is such an important thing to do. So my prayer this evening, as we all share our grief together in this Hull Minster, is that this space will be a safe space which will hold our grief. So thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Reverend Rob. My name is Philip Daniels, and I am the chair of the Board of Trustees of House Hospice. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to Light Up a Life 2022. We hope you will find this evening a celebration of the lives of those loved ones you have lost, an evening that will give you poignant moments of remembrance, reflection, and contemplation through the wonderful words, music, and thoughts that we are about to share. Thank you to our celebrants and performers who will kindle sentiments and happy memories of those who have passed, memories which will burn brightly in our hearts and minds as we remember the joy we have shared with our loved ones. It is hard to believe that only a year ago those caring for patients suffering life-limiting illness who were so precious to us, and families who were bereaved, were also suffering the mental turmoil and frustration because of the ramifications of the pandemic. We are proud that we were able to maintain the provision of palliative end-of-life care at Chamberlain Road throughout such difficult times, and we continued to welcome visitors and support families and their carers. Thankfully, and ever hopefully, the worst of those difficulties are behind us as we reimagine the services at our hospice and plan exciting new developments and reopen daycare and other facilities that were unavoidably curtailed. We look positively to the future. I cannot thank you enough for your support that allows us to continue to care for patients and families, some of whom are the most vulnerable in our society at the most difficult time in people's lives. Your very generous donations have, as always, proved overwhelming. We are forever grateful to all our donors and sponsors across Hull and East Yorkshire for all they contribute to the cost of maintaining our treasured hospice. We thank all our doctors, nurses, carers, family support team and staff who look after our loved ones and their families. Their care, kindness, compassion, and dedication is beyond equal. Thank you to the many who work across our organisation in retail, the lottery, fundraising, events in our nurseries, and of course, thank you to our fantastic army of volunteers. A simple thank you seems hardly enough, but it is, I assure you, a heartfelt thank you to whoever you are and whatever you do for House Hospice. You will join me in thanking Evie and her team, those in fundraising, finance, marketing and family support, for putting everything together for this evening's celebration. I also take this opportunity of thanking everyone here for the great privilege of holding Light Up a Life 2022 in this, our most magnificent Hull Minster. In conclusion, I send you and your family season's greetings and my very best wishes to one and all from the Board of Trustees of House Hospice. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Good evening, everyone. My name's Sarah Cash. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive at the Hospice, and I have the lovely job this evening of introducing you to our performers and readers. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage Grace Christensen, who's going to perform for us White Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where those treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. It's just like the ones I used to know, where those treetops they glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Ooh, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. Oh, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. That was beautiful. I'm afraid I should be welcoming Jo Gillespie to the stage now, who's one of our senior sisters, but she's unable to join us this evening. So I'll be reading in her place, Christmas Without You Is, a poem by Brian Bilston. Christmas without you is like a cracker in need of pulling, like a glass of wine that needs more mulling, like a stocking without presents, like a champagne cocktail that lacks effervescence, like a deep-filled mince pie without deep-filled mince, like a Santa Claus who fails to convince, like a wise man lacking in myrrh, substitute frankincense or gold if you prefer, like a card you've written but forgotten to send. It's like a wonderful life without the bit at the end, like an Ernie without an Eric, like early morning hysterics, like a carol singer without carols, like a tin of Cadbury's roses with no golden barrels, like a Bowie without a Bing, like a Merrileong High Dong which doesn't have a ding, like mistletoe which dangles and waits for a kiss. That's what Christmas without you is. I'd now like to welcome to the stage a great friend of the hospice, David Deakin, who's going to share his story. Thank you, David.
Good evening, everybody. Whoops, I've just dropped my wife. There she is. First of all, I'd like to thank the hospice for this opportunity to be able to actually speak. I think last time I really spoke about my wife was at a funeral 5 years ago, and now it gives me the opportunity to once again speak about her. As I said, my name's David, and my wife was called Greba, an unusual name, actually. Apparently she was named after a racehorse. Her grandfather was a bookie, and he had a big win. And so Greba became the family name. Sadly, I lost my partner Greba in April 2017. She was the light of my life, and I miss her every day. We met when she was a teaching assistant employed to look after a quadriplegic little girl who was called Jessica. We both worked in the same class. And on one occasion, Jessica and I and Greba were working together, and Jessica turned to both of us and said, you love each other, don't you? And actually, the child was right, and we were together ever since after that. Thank you, Jessica. In 2017, Greba passed away in House Hospice after being diagnosed with inoperable cancer. It was also sudden, just 6 months from beginning to end. And we were both initially in total denial. Things like this actually happen to other people and not to us. We just had a granddaughter, Esther. She was only months old and only just beginning to recognize her grandma, although Greba never actually liked being called grandma. Life became a constant round of appointments and tests and scans. Hull Royal, Castle Hill, Queen's Centre were just a fact of life. Doctors, consultants, Macmillan nurses all did their best, but the chemotherapy had little effect. And soon a stair lift and a wheelchair became a reality. She hated them both, but we couldn't manage without them. Eventually, Greba decided that enough was enough, and after talking to her consultant, we realized that there was no hope of recovery, although we never really actually believed it. Things became impossible at home, and this is where Dove House came in. Her first stay was in December 2016, 3 months after the initial diagnosis. We viewed it with fear and trepidation. We both took some convincing, but the alternatives were even worse. However, almost immediately, the calm, caring atmosphere at the hospice, coupled with a deep and genuine concern from the staff, went a long way to reduce our fear and anguish at what we were facing. We were able to be at home for a few days over Christmas, and the family did their best to make things as normal as possible. Greba put a brave face on it, but we had to go back into the hospice before New Year. We managed to get her home for her birthday on January the 11th, but just for the day. And so it was for the next 2 months. There was no hope of her recovery, none at all. The care and love that Greba received from the doctors and nursing staff helped to keep us both calm and comfortable. Nothing was too much trouble for them, nothing. I was amazed, and still am, at how these special people, and they are special, handle the most heart-rending and difficult circumstances. The provision that Dove House made, the complementary therapy that was provided, really helped Greba make the best of herself at the worst of her times. Things like therapeutic massage, aromatherapy, hair washing and manicure, even acupuncture were offered. Bathing made her feel particularly refreshed. She frequently mentioned how the resident musician Patrick helped her, although she did joke about his harp playing and wondering where she was. I was amazed when I was told that I could stay at the hospice overnight and was offered a bed alongside her. There was also a room upstairs which was made available to me. All this allowed me to be close to her whenever I wanted to be, which was all the time. I couldn't believe how cared for we both felt. The days turned to weeks and then to months. Greba passed away on the 1st of April 2017, a day when people have fun, not in our house. It was a Saturday morning and she was 55. Suddenly, I was lost and distraught. I'd come to the edge of a cliff. I didn't know what to do, but the hospice was there for me straight away. Members of the family support team, some of whom are here tonight, were there for me from the day one, and they still are. I can honestly say that those good people have helped me through the most difficult time in my life. They have restored my faith in human nature, as has the entire Dove House Hospice staff. They have given me a gift of being near to the one that I love. This was the place I felt closest to her, and I still do. I have volunteered at the hospice ever since. The place is family to me. As we come to another Christmas, thoughts inevitably go back to those of the past. Such occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, special days, all focus feelings and emotions. But I feel so lucky and privileged to have shared them with the one person who's made my life so special. And to be able to talk to you people out loud and talk about her name is really special. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, David, for sharing your story this evening. We know all of you out there will have stories like David's. Some of your journeys here this evening will have come via the hospice, and some of you will have had stories that haven't come via the hospice at all, but we share this grief together. David, I love what you said, the opportunity to talk out loud about your wife. Tonight's the time where you We can share together and talk about the loved ones that we've lost, a safe space where we all join together in our grief. So talk about them, share the things you love, share the things that drove you mad about them, the happy and the sad times. We're now going to begin a moment of reflection, and we'll come round and light the candles, so please have those ready. And remember those times as we light them, and Grace will accompany us as we do the lighting of those candles. And then shortly afterwards, the Humberside Police Band will play and we'll light the tree as well. If you haven't had a chance to pop your star on the tree, please do so at some point this evening. Grace, can I welcome you back to the stage, please?
Frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought me some corn for popping, and the lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Snow is falling all around me, children playing, having fun. It's the season of love and understanding. Merry Christmas, everyone. Time for parties and celebration, people dancing all night long. Time for presents and exchanging kisses, time for singing Christmas songs. We're gonna have a party tonight. We're gonna find that girl underneath the mistletoe. We'll kiss by candlelight. Room is swaying, records playing, all the old songs I love to hear. Oh, I wish that every day was Christmas. What a nice way to spend the year. We're gonna have a party tonight. I'm gonna find that girl underneath the mistletoe, and we'll kiss by candlelight. Snow is falling all around me, children playing, having fun. It's the season of love and understanding. Merry Christmas, everyone. Ooh, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much. I think the band are going to play some music for you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace, and thank you to the Humberside Police Band. We're going to hear another number from you now, and we'd like to invite you to sing along if you wish to Silent Night. The words are in your programme. Please feel free to keep your candles lit during these next numbers. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome to the stage another great friend of the hospice, Helen Marshall, who's volunteered with us for many years, who's going to do our next reading.
Christmas memories. When snowflakes dance on winter winds and coloured lights shine Christmas cheer, when children's laughter fills the air and families gather from far and near, I try to celebrate with them and not let them know my hurting show. But the empty spaces within my heart at this season seems to grow, till oftentimes it fills the day, and many night times too, with aching thoughts and memories of Christmases I spent with you. Yes, memories do hurt, it's true. But I have this feeling too. I'm so glad I hold these memories, for with them I hold a part of you. So for now, I'll wipe away the tears and join with loved one dears to celebrate this Christmas time, for I know that in my heart you're here.
Thank you, Helen. May I now welcome to the stage Christian Eastwood, who's going to sing A Picture of You, an original song that he's written. Thank you, Christian.
Hello, everybody. So this is a song I wrote about missing someone, whether it's a lost member of the family or they're far away. As long as you've got a picture of them in your mind, you're never really going to be alone.
Pictures inside my mind, memories take me to a different time. Photographs make it last, but sometimes they fall and they fade. I can never be alone, no, when I got your picture. Seeing you, it feels like home, home, when I miss you. So if I'm ever feeling blue, I know I can just look into my picture of you. Picture of you. I've been staring at the stars, I've been wondering where you are. Is it far from here? Makes me smile from cheek to cheek when I think that we might meet again. But until then, I just close my eyes, I feel your presence. It's like heaven, oh, you know what I'm gonna do anytime that I miss you, oh, 'cause I can never be alone, no, when I got your picture. Seeing you, it feels like home, oh, when I miss you. So when I'm ever feeling blue, I know I can just look into my picture of you. So I hold on to this feeling. I'll just hold on to this feeling, yeah. My picture of you. Picture of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christian. Yep. I'd like to now welcome to the stage. Lost my words then. I'd like to welcome to the stage Rebecca Brambles, who's our team leader from our family support team. I think many of you might have met Rebecca if you've spent some time at the hospice. Thank you, Rebecca.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rebecca and I am family support team leader at House Hospice. On behalf of all the hospice staff, volunteers, patients and their families, we would like to thank you for joining us today and for supporting this year's Light Up a Life appeal. It is so lovely to be able to welcome you all back to Hull Minster, particularly after such an uncertain couple of years. Not only does Light Up a Life allow us to come together to remember our loved ones at such a poignant time of year, it also raises vital funds for the hospice. And we hope, most of all, that today's service helps you to take some time to reflect and remember your loved ones during this busy, festive period. During the uncertainty of the past few years, we have had to adapt and be creative in the ways in which we support our patients and their loved ones. Sadly, during the pandemic, we were unable to host our usual groups, which provided a lifeline for so many bereaved people. We are delighted that we have recently been able to reopen our community groups and want to make sure that you know that these groups are available to you should you need them. We hold Welcome Wednesdays, a bereavement cafe, on the first and third Wednesday of every month, along with our Friday Friends social group, which takes place weekly in our Amy Johnson unit. The groups are very informal, and you are welcome to come along. We've got some leaflets dotted around if anybody wants some extra information. I can see many familiar faces here today, and in our programme can see many names that I recognise and remember with fondness. For me and my colleagues, it is our privilege to get to know you all and support and care for you and your loved ones in some of the most difficult times. Whether or not you have a connection to the hospice, we would like to remind you that we are always here, our door is always open. We want you to know that the hospice is a safe space and our staff are always here should you need to reach out. I would like to offer a personal heartfelt thank you for all of your support, and I hope that today's service has provided some peace and time for reflection during this festive season. Your support is appreciated greatly by everybody at Dove House. We understand that these times are so difficult for lots of different reasons, but I would like you to be assured that your generous support enables us to provide this vital lifeline to people in the local community at what is an incredibly difficult time. On behalf of everybody at Dove House, I'd like to wish you all a peaceful Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formalities of our Light Up a Life celebration for 2022. Please do stay and take refreshments with us while we listen to the wonderful Humberside Police Band, to whom we're very, very grateful for playing for us this evening, and they are going to play carols for us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for supporting us.